Hey, what up, folks? Welcome to the Film Focus page. It's me, Mr. P again. I'm going to be giving my news review of Tomb Raider, the latest video game reboot of the classic video game franchise, starring Alicia Vikander in the lead role as Lara Croft. Now, in this film, we see, which is basically an origins film, we see Lara Croft go to Japan in search of her father, who disappeared whilst looking for a missing tomb in Japan. And that's as much as I'm going to tell you without giving any plot spoilers away. Now, for me, I was very much pessimistic about this film. Purely because video games made into films, the success rate is very, very low. There's been very, very few video game films that have been successfully made that transition onto the big screen and have been hits and been well received. You know, Mario Brothers, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Assassin's Creed, Max Payne, the list is endless. These films were originally video games and were poorly made into films. Now the 2000 entries of the 2001 entry of Tomb Raider, starring Angelina Jolie, that film for me was more tongue in cheek. The visual effects were shaky. The action sequences were okay in parts. It was more video game-esque type action, more comic book based action, and it did have some enjoyable sequences in this film. But as a film, it was adequate. And, it was just one of those films that you thought, okay, adequate, meh, not something that I can write home about. But when I saw this film, I thought, okay, is this film going to be in the same pantheon as, Street Fighter, Prince of Persia, as being an unsuccessful reboot? I have to say that coming away from this film, I was pleasantly surprised. I found this film to be thoroughly entertaining. Alicia Vikander, who has been getting mixed reviews from critics in terms of her interpretation of Lara Croft. Some saying that she was really, really good, some saying that she was bland. I found it to be very entertaining. And again, this is a young Lara Croft that we've been introduced to. I liked how this film was made for present day audience. It wasn't a film that was, how can I put this, made for the MTV generation where it's comic book and it's stylish. No, this film is very much realistic. It's made for, this generation of video gamers, film viewers, and it basically appeals to all. There are some very, very impressive action sequences in this film. There's a bicycle chase in Shoreditch, which I found to be very, very well made and beautifully shot. And also there's some action sequences which you can, if you've played the video game, you can see the similarities between the two and you can see where they base these action sequences off of. But I found this one to be very good. My only criticism was Walter Coggins, who plays Matthias in this film. He's supposed to be one of the villains in this film, but your hero is only as good as your villain. And this guy I found to be so-so. He wasn't a bad villain, but then again, he wasn't a great villain as well. He was in the middle. And, you find that in this film, without giving too many plot spoilers away, that the way that this film ends, there's an inclination that there will be a sequel. And that this character that he plays, Matthias, was just a small pawn in a really, really larger part of the storyline, which will maybe be expanded on when they do a sequel. But with that being said, as video game entry goes, this film has to be up there as one of the best reboots that I've seen in a while. Better than, previous entries, better than Assassin's Creed, and the irony is, Michael Fassbender, who was in Assassin's Creed, is actually Alicia Vikander's husband, who plays Lara Croft. Ain't that something? But this film as a whole, I found it to be pleasantly surprising. Very good, very well made. The film is 2 hours and 2 minutes, and for me, I found that film to be just a perfect pace. It doesn't lag in any areas for me. I found this one to be, gripping from the get-go. I found this one to be engaging from the get-go. And I find this one to be very, very enjoyable. It shifts away from the humour of the previous Lara Croft films and then just focuses on a more serious storyline. And I like that. I also liked how they incorporated a lot of British talent. Michael Obiora, who was in Hotel Babylon, he makes a cameo appearance in this film as one of the hotel receptionists. Jamie Winston was on fine comedic form as one of the pawn shop owners in this film. But all in all, Tomb Raider, I have to say, a pleasant surprise. Loved every minute of it, and I hope that they do a sequel, and I hope that they build on the momentum of this film, and I think that this franchise can show some potential. Loved every minute of it, so I'll give Tomb Raider 7 out of 10. Is this one to watch? Yes. Is it one for the DVD collection? You know what, why not? Add it to the DVD collection. It'll be a worthy entry and a worthy addition. So, that's my review. of Tomb Raider. Feel free to subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Feel free to leave your comments and tell me what you think about the film. And I shall see you on the next film review. Stay blessed.